and Harry and I are at the Hogwarts School of Magic.
Harry, did you hear what Professor Dumbledore was talking about?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Look at me, you say to not pay attention. What was he talking about anyway? He was talking about our gift to Shirdi. Wait, what? Shirdi is a holy place where Sai Baba lived. Who? Here, Lewis, come on, let's go to the Great Hall. We don't want to be late.
Later at the Great Hall, Professor Dermador, Professor Fala, Professor Ubrin, and Herschel.
Attention everyone, I have an announcement for the Ministry of Magic. This time, 4th and 5th years will be taking a trip through Sai Baba Shirdi.
Why is everyone talking about him?
Hush! Silence you!
Before we go on the trip, let us take a quick visual tour of Shirdi and know who Sai Baba is. Shirdi is a small village in the state of Maharashtra, India, about 200 miles away from Mumbai. Sai Baba came there as a young fakir and stayed there for about 60 years until his Maha Samadhi in 1918.
Wow, that's awesome!
Baba is revered as one of the greatest saints ever seen in India, endowed with unprecedented powers and worshipped as a god in her name.
No one knew his parents, birthplace, guru, or even his religious background.
Sai Baba, the mystery man.
Yes, indeed. His ways were inscrutable. Sai Baba represented the spirit of all the world religions. In fact, he asked Hindus to accept him as Muslim and Muslims to accept him as Hindu.
Now, let us take a look at some of the most important places in Shirdi. Samadhi, Dwarkamani, Javadi. Javadi. And the Kandoba Temple.
This is the most important site in Shirdi, for it is where we find the Samadhi, or the tomb of Sai Baba.
Before he left the body, Baba promised,
You will hear me from my Samadhi, and I shall guide you. I shall be ever active and vigorous, even from the tomb.
Oh, sort of like a ghost?
no, like the God, Sai Baba is ever living. You can even feel his presence in your own heart.
Dwarkamali. This is the mosque where Baba lived for much of his life. When Baba arrived in Shirdi, it was only a tiny crumbling mud structure.
Baba would sit near the sacred fire, the Duni, the fire he kept ever burning. The ash from this fire was called Udi. The healing powers of Udi are magical.
Baba asked devotees for dakshina, and while they took leave, he gave them Udi as prasad.
What did Baba do with all that dakshina? Did he get rich? No, it's the opposite of what you just said. Though Baba collected a lot of money by dakshina, he would distribute the whole amount by the end of the day. His properties consisted of a tin pot, a robe, and a few things like that.
Wow, such simple living. I don't think I could live like that. By asking for dakshina, Baba taught charity. By giving Udi, Baba taught that God is eternal and the only reality. All else that you see in this universe perishes. One day our bodies will turn into ash. Try to understand this.
Next slide, please.
This is where Baba spent some time, sheltered by the neem tree when he first came to Shirdi. Baba said that his guru's tomb was here.
Charity. This is where Baba slept every other night for the past 9 years of his life. The few-meter walk from the mosque to Charity became a grand ceremonious procession.
Kandoba Temple. This is where the young fakir was greeted by the priest Maha Shivaratri as welcome Sai. The name Sai Baba stuck to him ever after. Sai is the Persian word for saint or holy, and Baba means father.
Wow, that's fascinating. We are very eager to know more.
Sure. Haven't you heard about the latest discovery of the world of magic? It's called Shirdi.
What? Don't you mean 3D?
No, Shirdi. Shirdi is way better than 3D. As you listen to Baba's stories, right here, right now, you'll be able to see them live happening in Shirdi. The spell for it is Shirdi-fi. Everybody say Shirdi-fi!
Now let me tell you a story which shows Baba's all pervasiveness and compassion. In the year 1910, Baba was sitting near the dhoni on the Bali day warming himself. Instead of pushing the firewood, Baba pushed his arm in through the dhoni. His arm got burnt immediately. Shama at once ran to him.
Deva, for what have you done this? The wife of a blacksmith at some distant place was working the bellows of a furnace. Her husband called to her. Forgetting that the child was on her lap, she ran hastily and the child slipped into the fire. I immediately thrust my hand into the fire and thus saved the child. I do not mind my hand being burned, but I am glad that the life of the child was saved. A few days later,
Baba, thank you for saving our Chinnu from falling into the fire.
Allah Malik, I am only his instrument. He is the sole doer and inspirer.
Amazing how merciful Baba is.
See God in all beings, Upanishad says. Let us see how Baba has practically demonstrated this teaching. Once, Miss Turka was staying in Shirdi. At noon, when she was about to have her meals, a hungry dog turned up and began to cry. Seeing the dog, at once Miss Turka threw a piece of bread into the dog opened up with relish. A few days later, when she went to the mosque,
Mother, you have fed me sumptuously up to my throat. Always act like this. Know for certain that he who feeds the hungry really serves me with food.
Baba, how could I feed you? I myself take food from others.
Eating that lovely bread, I am so satisfied that I am still belching. That dog which you saw before meals yesterday was one with me. So also all other creatures. I am roaming in their forms. He who sees me in all these forms is my beloved.